And I was like, yo, like, I mean, rap is poetry. So like, it's just, poetry without music. So did that, put it out. It did pretty okay. A couple years go by. Then I added some short stories to kind of fatten the book up because by this time my father had passed away. Like my godson, who unfortunately passed from sickle cell. So I was dealing with then I lost like 10 friends, 10 or 11 people in like 4 years. So I was dealing with a lot of grief and a lot of like, honestly, like two of my childhood friends like died within a month of each other. Like it was serious. And I had to write it to like really like get it out. And it felt better and it felt good.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode, of course, of the TurfnTalks Podcast. Mr. Turfn 101 here. Hold on, I gotta show y'all the drip. Of course, Mr. Turfn 101 here. Like I always start off everything, make sure on Instagram to follow TURFN_101. YouTube is the same handle at YouTube.com at Turfn101, spelled TURFN_101. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It don't cost nothing. Hit that subscribe button. And so I'm here with another special guest, man. We go through not only turf dance and the dance culture, we go through people who are important in the turf, the communities, the neighborhoods we come from, and that includes community leaders, activists, artists, rappers, actors, everything. And we got somebody who encompasses a lot right now. I ain't gonna say because he does so much shit. But we got Mr. Hometown Hero. Can I tell him your government name? Can I say your government? No, I'm gonna let you do that. Okay. I'm just gonna introduce you as Hometown Hero. You tell the people real quick, what's your name and where you're from?
So the name my mama gave me, well, really my auntie name is Jhamel, but my professional name is Hometown Hero. Grew up Oakland, California my whole life. Definitely a product of Oakland, California. And yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We're glad to have you. This is gonna be good. I've been trying to get him for a minute. We've been going back and forth. He's a busy man. Y'all don't understand. So this one is good. This is gonna be good. Seuss might pop in. Hopefully Seuss popping in a couple minutes. But if not, we still gonna rock, man. This is a town business one. So first off,
Yes, I
although
got my town business. I got my town business.
Let me see.
This is from the verses. I can't remember who I bought this shirt from, but shout out to them. This is from the Too Short E40 verses.
Shit, that's wrong. Hey, I just peeped that. Hey, that's clean. That's clean though. I respect that.
I feel so bad. I don't remember who I got this from.
Whoever that is, if you watching this, I need one of them. I gotta get one of them. That's fire though.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, yeah, I need that.
So, although you're not per se a turf dancer, you're not gigging. This is not always all about dance, right? But you grew up in Oakland. You grew up around dance culture. So, of course, I'm gonna have some questions about how this affected you, right? So, my first question is: so, growing up in Oakland, right? How did the turf dance culture, like shape your environment? Even if you like weren't on the floor yourself, but damn well we all was at functions and parties. So how did the culture shape your environment growing up?
Man, I remember not the exact first time I saw turf dancing, but I remember going to Youth Uprising and they was having the turf dance battles. I remember going to the candy shop at Ashe Cafe. If you know, you know. And I'm not a dancer whatsoever. But like I remember like seeing cats like you, Zeus, Slow Motion, a lot of the other brothers. And I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. Like, because it was just such an interesting art form. Maybe like the grandchild of like breakdancing.
God, yeah.
Or maybe even like the child, because it was like maybe the next generation. But then also seeing women turf dancing. Oh yeah, I gotta shout out my brother Corn as well.
Oh yeah, shout out to Corn Skywalker for sure.
Yeah, just seeing that, I was like, man, that look cool. Like, I wish I could. And I would try to do it. My friends were like, man, you don't know what the hell you doing. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick to making music.
So when you seeing this, right? It's you growing up seeing this at a young age. Like, how did it like affect your like your storytelling, your resilience, or like how you express yourself?
Okay, so in the Bay Area, if you get one hit record, you're set for life. You got your Cupcake No Feelings, you got your NoHo, you got your Drop It to the Clap, you got records like that. And of course, these artists have had other songs that we like, but D-Lo can tour off NoHo forever.
Yeah.
Turn Boys can perform Cupcake No Feeling forever. You know, Sleepy D, same thing. I remember as an artist at that time, I wanted to just make one song that the turf dancers could dance to. And at the time, we was making like what we call like hyphy revolutionary music.
Right.
And it didn't necessarily, I mean, yeah, it kind of went, but then I got to a point where I'm like, yo, I want to make a hyphy record. Like, I want to make like an actual hyphy song. I want this song to be a song that hopefully people gravitate to and they listen to it again. NoHo been out almost 20 years. Cupcake No Feeling, we coming up on 20 years in a couple of years. Like, and like people are sampling these songs.
Right.
They performing these songs like they just came out. Some of the people who hear these songs in the party, they weren't even born when this song came out, which is crazy to me. Like, but I wanted to make one of those records that the dancers could do it, and we made an attempt. It didn't really go nowhere. I think we kind of put the song out on CDs, but we didn't really push it like that. But you know, it's just seeing like in the way you guys would move your bodies too, like that's fitness. But back then we didn't know like that was actual fitness and that was health and all this stuff.
Health and wellness and all that.
Yeah.
Bro.
And I didn't thinking about like, oh, you really gotta like work your body out and do like to be able to still do this stuff. Like so
let me ask you this. Was this around the time? Because I know you had put a CD out. Used to be by the Covenant House, bro.
Yep.
Doing music. They don't know about the Cub, right? Yeah. So around this time, because you said revolutionary, and you guys kind of were like on that type of hype. Yeah. So what made you? Is this the time that you're saying that you seen the energy there, and you was like, you know what? Let me try to tap into this.
Yeah. So here's the crazy thing, right? We were doing like I said, the revolutionary hip hop. We would do songs like "Fuck the Government," like all songs like that, right? And I remember we had a show. We did a couple shows with Dead Prez.
Right.
I remember one time we had this show at Oshkosh in Berkeley. I don't even know if Oshkosh is still open. It's like a Jamaican spot, but they would do hip hop shows.
Right.
And we opened for Dead Prez, and they was like, man, y'all like some hyphy revolutionary. So we took that shit and ran with it. Like, and it was, you know, by that time I was about 16, 17. And by the time I turned 18, like I wanted to make songs for women, like I wanted, or girls at that time, you know.
Right.
Hyphy records, like, and not necessarily drink, smoke, kill people, nothing like that, but like just something fun. And like I said, we made an attempt. We made this song called "Move Around," and I actually listened to that song for the first time like 15 years, like a couple months ago, and I was like, this song ain't that bad, like,
right. It stood the test of time.
Like I was like, yeah, it's all right, like, but yeah, man, like just really, but just wanted to encapsulate what that energy felt like, and what people also failed to realize, like, yeah, obviously turf dancing is known to be from the Bay Area, but turf dancing started in Oakland, like in the ghettos. I want to maybe say it started in West Oakland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but turf dancing started in Oakland. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit, right? So let's go back to you, young hometown hero, right? You was a hometown hero in training at this point, right?
Yeah, I was Jay Million back then.
Jay Million. Let's go back to you, like take us through how it was. Where are you from? The areas you grew up in Oakland, and tell the audience how was growing up for you in Oakland? Let's say from adolescence to high school. Let's say right before this, because people don't know, like, there's the new Oakland now and there's old Oakland.
So I spent a bulk of my life. I grew up literally right down the street from a Climate High School. I mean, my granny lived in North Oakland, and there was a time that you had to claim something. Like, if you was from the West, you had to be from like Ghost Town, Acorn. You had to be from the block I grew up on. It wasn't this was before it was third world on the next block. You had to be from somewhere, so it was like, oh man, from over here. And I mean, obviously,
Right.
yeah, my granny lived over there, but when I got older, I'm like, oh shit, I grew up in West Oakland, like,
Yeah.
and I
It's
was
just
proud of it. I became proud of it because obviously the Black Panthers and all that stuff. But the Oakland that people see today is nothing like I drive downtown now and I'm like, damn, I remember Pizza Man right there. I remember when the Wendy's was right
yeah.
there, or they had this. We used to go right. I would pass by the building that the cafe used to be. I'm like, man, there used to be hella parties in there. I remember actually earlier I was driving my niece back home. I said, man, I remember I went to a party right there on 79th and Parker, and that motherfucker got shot up. Like,
Yeah. That's some normal town shit.
yeah, like even at the candy shop, like if you was running from bullets, that shit was normal,
That's hey,
which is not
people used to
okay.
shoot in the church when they used to do it in the
Yeah,
church. That's how you know
yeah,
it was
but
ugly.
we like really we used to be outside, and I wasn't outside as most people.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is that the group of friends that I had, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
those guys were, I don't want to say they were really in the streets, but they had different circumstances than I did.
Right,
Though I
right,
grew up in a single parent home, I didn't grow up rich by any means.
right, right.
But a lot of my friends had never met their dads. You know, they might have came from like substance abuse homes. That wasn't my
Right,
reality, even though I grew up in the hood. Like, and I didn't get
right.
everything I wanted, like by any means. Like by the time I got to be like 14, Jordan's about $150. My mama said, "You better figure out a legit way to make you some money
You
if
better
you
get
want
in.
these Jordans." Like, so
You better
that's
go
when
to
I started.
wait, what was on 23rd in the East that used to be able to get a job when you were like 14?
Here you
You
go to
know,
White.
back in
I had a job at
YE.
YET. Like it was so funny. I had a photo. So now I'm a photographer. We'll
Mhm.
get to that later. But the studio I shoot out of was around the corner from where we used to like clean up trash in the West and all this
Right,
stuff. Right.
right.
And I was leaving, and I was taking a client to the BART, and I was like, man, I said my first little job was like right here. Like,
Right.
but yeah, like going downtown. Remember, like going downtown after school. I went to tech, so I didn't necessarily have to go all the way downtown to go home. But going all the way downtown to Mr. Pizza Man to get the $2.50 slice of pizza with the soda, like these were
Mm-hmm.
things that like I said, now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, like Oakland ain't the same Oakland. Not even gentrification
Yeah.
aside, like just seeing certain, like, damn, I remember this was right here. Like what's the spot? Crybaby. That used to be the Black Box.
Yeah.
I met Kanye there. Like I performed there. Like this is Kanye before he became whatever he is now.
Be-
This is the old
yeah.
Kanye.
Whatever he is now.
Yeah, this is Kanye before he was a Nazi and doing all the shit he talking about.
Going on
This,
them tangents and rants.
yeah, like but I think that, and this is also when we had youth programs too. We had the Cub Records, we had YMR, we had Youth Uprising, which Youth Uprising is still open,
Yeah.
but we had different outlets where we can go dance, make music, find something we was good at. You got to think about songs like Cupcake No Feeling, No Ho. These were made in youth programs.
These exactly. That's the power behind at
The
youth
power, like the Drop It to the
programs.
Clap, was made at Youth
Yeah.
Uprising, and I want to say D-Lo made No Ho at Youth Uprising as well.
Man, a lot of them used to be in that studio while we were in the dance studio. Right by
Yeah,
the section of the dance studio
yep,
was that rapping studio, and there's a
yeah,
lot of
like
talent that
going
came
when they
out of
used to
there.
open up the gate, and
Yeah,
then you have
open
the,
up the
the
gate and
room.
throw battles and
Yeah, and they throw battles there, like, and it was just like, it was like, oh, we going from, oh, we in the West, we finna go to the East to go to Youth Uprising, and go to the battle, like, anyway, you didn't have to worry about like, oh, somebody finna shoot this shit up, like,
right.
or and just seeing people that look like us in our age group, just doing some shit that they love to do, no matter, and it was for a lot of us. That was our outlet. That was our freedom because a lot of us did
Right.
have come from like drug addicted parents, or
Yeah.
they circumstances wasn't all the way right. So it's like, man, if I can go to YU for 4 or 5 hours a day after school, or maybe if I dropped out of school and the early say let me come in, it's 12 o'clock or whatever, I could spend 6 hours here dancing, rapping.
Right, and you don't got to be in that toxic environment all day, every
Exactly.
day. Where you can. A lot of us, we got friends. We know half of us succumb to our environment growing up,
Yeah.
where we grow up, how we grow up in Oakland. Like it literally is like hyenas and wolves. You know what I mean? Like, well, at
Yeah,
our
man,
time, like,
I got lucky, man. Like a lot of my friends, like I wasn't a punk, but at the same time, I was like, man, I ain't trying to like this. Now, if obviously somebody assaults you, you defend yourself. But a lot of my
right.
friends, they protected me in a lot of ways, and they knew that
Mm-hmm.
I was destined to do something. Like I remember, it's so funny. One of my homeboys who actually recently passed away a couple months ago, he was we were actually I think it might have been our last conversation. He was like, "Man, you always been a square," but he's like, "That's cool though." Like, and like I remember, like I was on 82nd one day,
Yeah.
seeing one of the other homies. One of the other homies drove down the street. And he was driving Uber, and he saw me. He pulled up on me, and he had like a kid in the back seat or something. And he was like, "Hey, how long you been a square?"
Mhm.
I said, "My whole life." He was like, "See, I told you it's cool to be a square," and drove off. Like I was but yeah, like man, like a lot of like my friends, like because they knew that they was just like, yeah, like I'm gonna defend myself, but they was like, man, I don't, I didn't see crack till I was
Mm,
13. Like I
right,
didn't. That wasn't my environment. My dad,
right.
though, he wasn't always present. Like my dad had a good job, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, yeah,
My mom had a career in nursing at the time. Again, I
right,
wasn't rich by any means, and I didn't get everything
right.
I wanted. But at
But
the same
you didn't have the same circumstances as some of your peers.
Yeah, like when I got like sometimes I sit in my car at night, especially when I'm in front of my mom's house, because my mom still lives in the house I grew up in. And
Mhm,
I sit there and I'm like, damn, like, yeah, we didn't have a lot of money, but like we never went hungry. We never our lights was never off. We never
mhm.
our water was never off. Like we had like the things that
Yeah,
people take for granted. We had all this shit. Like I got homies that
yeah.
was like, nigga, we gotta boil the water on the stove.
Hell yeah, bro. I
Like,
remember some days where we had to light some candles and shit like that, or
yeah, like the only time I
heating the
remember
house
our
with the
lights,
oven.
yeah, oh yeah, we
Yeah,
did that for sure. But the only time, like I remember, like our lights being, maybe it was an outage or something. But like for some of my friends, this was a reality. Like, you
yeah.
had to boil the water, do the thing. And I'm like, damn, like I don't really know what that's like that.
Right, right.
And so, in a lot of ways, again, they protected me, and they was like, if it was something going down, hey, you go over here. Like, yeah, you don't need to be in this. Cool, you don't need to see what's going on. We'll tell you about it later. And I thank them for that because you know I know they wouldn't have thrown me into anything, but you could be a bystander and some shit can go down. So yeah,
So in your eyes, like being from Oakland, whether it's like the turf dancing, the music events, everything, what do you think makes like Oakland people from Oakland's energy just so unique and different from other cities that's around the bay?
pills. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Man, Oakland just has this different energy. Like even when people come from out of town, like they just get this energy, and we've always been so original and so like again, like when I saw
Mm,
turf dancing, like I had never seen anything like that before. It's kind of like, I mean, again, like when people saw breakdance, I'm like, yo, what is that? Like, but again, I'm not
right.
a dancer, so like, but it
Yeah.
was one of those things where, like, I've seen, man, Zeus, for example, I seen Zeus do some amazing shit. I'm like, how did you do that? Like,
Right.
and like,
Right.
like how do you how do you move your body like that? And even I can't remember the brother's name off the top of my head. He do the thing with his arm, and like it looked like it hurt. Like,
All that, yeah, all the breaking they be, yeah, all the
yeah, I'm
bone breaks
like,
they be doing.
but
That'd be
just like
crazy. That'd be crazy with it.
but the energy of Oakland, like it gives you that. Like it gives you this power. And again, like for a lot of people, I've talked to people that are like, yo, this is my freedom. This is how I release my stress or
Mm,
whatever it may like. For some people, like man, turf
right.
dancing stopped me from knocking a motherfucker out. Like I just go
Yeah.
put on the phone and just
Or you
dance.
or being outside, just
Yeah, like
yeah.
cause think about if folks didn't have the music, didn't have the turf dance, and didn't have the graphic design. Like a lot, I mean, a lot of us probably would be dead or in jail. Because we didn't have
Yeah.
these outlets. And I think now with these kids, they don't really have a lot of those outlets because everybody can't get on the bus and go to Youth Uprising every day.
Right.
But that's from what I want to say, that might be the only community center still open.
I think maybe you might actually be right.
And so, I tell the kids all the time, what do you want to do today? I don't know. I want to watch baddies. I want to watch people fight on Instagram. And I'm like, I get on my nieces about that all the time. Like, I'm like, what is that? Why does this
Like
interest you?
just toxicity. Like, why do you want to be into so much toxic shit? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, and they're like, because it's just fun to watch. I'm like, do you know your brain cells are being fried when you watch this shit? Like, but I think that's because
Then you don't even know. You'll be watching shit for like you look up and 2-3 hours done pass. And you
I
done
have
just been
definitely
flipping
been
through
on
fucking 5
TikTok
videos.
scrolling shit and be like, damn, I've been on this shit for 2 hours. Which TikTok is not bad. I've
You
learned
look
a
and be
lot
like,
of shit. I've learned a lot of shit on TikTok. Like, but what I'm saying, like, my niece tried to give me to download this app. I said, what is the app? So she was like, well, I said, what they be doing on there? She was like, it's like Twitter or TikTok, but they have a bunch of fights on there. And I was like, why would I want to watch
what? Wait, what is this called? Look, I'm hella ignorant. Hey, what is this called, bro?
I think it's called Scoop. I think I have to
Scoop.
send it to Scoop or so. I could be wrong, but she
That's
was showing me
wild,
the app. She
bro.
was like, yeah, right here is where you see all the body
Bro,
cam.
the police is all over that app. I ain't even heard
They
of
got
it.
a section for body cam footage. They got one like it's kids
Yeah.
and adults fighting, and they got one. And I'm like, why do you watch this shit? But I have to remember when we was younger, we had toxic shit that we watched.
We did though. We
We
did
did.
though.
We had like I would think about like my other niece made a song, and it was pretty good. And like they're talking about like certain things on the song, and they're using the language that they use now. And I'm like, what the hell does this mean? And she had to explain it to me. I was like, oh. But I think about when I would make a song, my mom like, well, what does this mean? Like, I was like, oh, I've gotten to that age where I'm asking kids, what does shit mean, and trying to keep up with, not in a
yeah.
clicky way, but just like, okay, I just need to know when I hear a young person say like something like Nuki, like what does that mean? Like,
Yeah, you still gotta be in tune as you get
yeah,
older. You don't want
like
to be one of them. We don't want to be one of them the old people who get out of touch. You still have to know
exactly.
just to know to understand your surroundings.
Exactly, because it's like just watching my nieces and their friends and just watching them talking. I'm like, damn, like, and I would tell like I would see certain shit. And I'm like, damn, me and your mom used to do that, like, or me and your mom used to like, and I'm like, damn, like it's so crazy how the cycle of life.
Yeah.
But then also, but to your point about like with the turf dancing, seeing the young man, the little kid Polo,
Yeah, he's going hard right now.
that kid, I seen a little white kid. I think he's with Turf Inc. as well. I saw him at First Friday, and I was like,
Yeah, you talking about there's Milo and then there's a young one called Lil Root Stunner. He's like 8.
it
You talking
might
about the
be.
little one?
Yeah, I know the kid is like 7 or 8,
He's 8. He's crazy.
and I remember because the young lady Talise, who's another amazing turf dancer, she invited me to come to one of their practices and do in photography. And I seen this little kid, and his mom was there, and I said, "When did he learn to do that?" Like she was like, "He's been dancing since he was 3." And she said, "I just encouraged him to do it." And she said he learned this style of dance.
We gonna let him
I never
reconnect
let him,
real quick. I
never
think
told him what
just cut out.
style of dance to do or what not to do.
We gonna let this
I
play.
just let him express himself. I was like, "That's crazy," and he's
This
good.
is fire, y'all. We got a
And
lot
I was
more
just
questions
like,
to ask.
wow,
I
like
appreciate y'all
because I only see black people do it, like people my age.
Turfn
So to see the kids
one-on-one, you know
picking it up, and I think it's beautiful.
Love the culture, love the movement. We gonna let Jhamel get back in here. He just cut off, but we still got a bit more talking to do, a lot of questions to get into, a lot of things to get into.
Yeah, I think my connection was kind of crazy.
Oh no, you good? Yeah. We just waiting. It keeps rolling anyways, and I'm gonna
Oh,
chop it
good.
up.
Oh,
So
okay,
you see,
cool.
are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, so let's get into let's get into you. Let's get into hometown hero, bro.
Let's go.
Because I mean, you do so much.
Yes,
My
sir.
first question to you is, okay, you do events like, I know you're part of the barbecue and Wild Black, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
You do the I don't know the name of it, but it's like the adult prom. What do you call that?
No, that was so Oakland.
So Oakland do that?
Yeah, so Oakland was
So
doing
you're part of the barbecue and Wild Black, right?
correct.
So what inspired you to throw like these events that both they feel both like nostalgic and they feel revolutionary at
Yeah.
the same time.
So, I mean, the short version of the story with barbecuing while black is that my brother Kenzie, rest in peace to him, and another one of his friends, they were at the at the lake barbecuing. Like they was burgers, dogs. It wasn't nothing too big. It was just them. They chilling. It's Sunday. Obviously, y'all know about the barbecue Becky situation. For those who don't know, Google it. But
Yeah.
you know, I called my guy after I saw the video. I called my
Google
guy.
it for real. Google it. It's entertaining. But go ahead.
It's funny as shit. And seeing the cop trying not to laugh was the funniest shit ever. But after it happened, I called my guy and I'm like, "Yo, you straight?" And he was like, "Nah, man. He was really going through it. It was really traumatic for him." And so a friend of mine named
Yeah, I think you cut out one more time. We'll stitch these together.
she called me up and was like, "Yo, I want to do something to stand in solidarity with them." I saw the video. She's like, She said, "I know you know one of the guys. What can we do?" And she was like, "Well, what I really want to do is go to the lake, like 5 of us, barbecue, just to be in solidarity." So I said, "Okay."
Never just phantom. So okay, we back. So we on the barbecue, right? So my
Yes.
question to you is like, okay, you throwing the barbecues, then this event's been going good. So this is a 2-part question, right?
Yes.
One is, what is like the most memorable moment where you thought, like, man, this is why I do this? That's number one. Question number 2 is, how do you measure the success of your event? Is it by numbers, by vibe, by impact, or by something else?
Okay, so first and foremost, I got my name hometown hero from barbecuing while black. That's number
Mm.
one. I was walking around, it was a vibe. I'm like, man, I'm the hometown hero. And I was like, I kind of like that. Like,
It just popped in your head like
it just popped into my head.
That's God's plan. That's
And
God's
so,
work right there.
for sure, but to answer your question, you want to know how I knew we was doing something big when Angela
Mm-hmm.
Davis showed up. Like Angela Davis showed up walking her dog. She wasn't there that long, and I actually had missed her. But
Wow.
somebody had got a picture, and it was like, man, Angela Davis just left. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that made me feel really good. But I measured the success.
Wow.
We had 4,000 people the first year. We expected, so to kind of, before the thing got cut off, we only expected like 50 people to show up. Like, it wasn't nothing we was trying to like, do how it became. And then when the flyer, we did the first flyer, like, yo, come out, stand in solidarity with us. It kind of went around. I did a flyer with the lady picture on there, and it went viral. BET posted it. Like, it was crazy. People flew in from New Orleans. Some people drove from LA. 4,000 people showed up that day. We measured. The first thing I thought, because the Oakland in me was like, I hope don't nobody get into a fight or shoot this shit up. Like, that was the first thing I was. We had no real security. We didn't have nothing. Like,
you were just praying for peace.
I didn't even get dressed that day. Like, I had on some shorts and t-shirts, some old Vans, because I didn't know. Like, I was just like, yo, we just going to.
Oh, you was ready, bro.
And I'm like, oh my! Like, when I got there to set up our little section, it was people already there setting up. I was like, what the hell? Like, and man, it was DJs that just came out. Shout out to Igor Beats, who was our main DJ that year. But it was so many other DJs that came out. It literally covered the whole lake, for both from Lakeshore side to Grand side, and but we measured it by like the impact, man. About it was no fights, hella people there. People was like, you gotta go, you got chicken, you got links, okay, let's get together. It was that kind of camaraderie. Yeah, OPD did show up to kind of monitor traffic because traffic was crazy.
It started getting crazy.
It started getting crazy, but that's Oakland. Like, but I was
So
just
how
like,
many of these have you thrown? Let's tell for the people to know, right? So now we talking about the barbecue by black is popping. How many have you thrown, and where is it going in the future right now?
So we've thrown technically 3, but technically 2 I only recognize. And the reason why is after the first one, we was like, okay, we're going to do this again. Like, and we did it. It was kind of small. It wasn't like, because we was kind of like, yeah, we're going to be back out at the lake. Then the following year was like, no, we really back for real. And then 5,000 people showed up. Now, here's the thing. I got a
Right,
call
right.
from Oakland Parks and Rec. They like, listen, we love what you're doing, but we got to show you the right way to do it. You got to rent the. I didn't even know you had to rent the lake. Like, I was like, wait, what? Like, they was like, yeah, when you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
events like that,
See, that's how
then
you
you
know
got to like,
you was on point and it was something big. Yeah.
yeah, man. I remember. I'll never forget this lady. I guess she found out about it that day. This lady cooked some food at her house, brought a table, and had the food it's still in the pot, and was out there slaying it. And I'm like. And I was like, I said, I can't even tell this lady to leave. I said, one, I respect the hustle, but I'm just thinking like, if somebody gets sick, like I'm thinking about all these things. But man, even when OPD came, they didn't bother nobody. They just directed traffic. They did whatever I guess their
Right,
captain told
right.
them to do. The following year, I remember. Shout out to the Black Riders. Those brothers, man. I'm forever indebted to them because they came just on some like to pass out their newspaper and push their message. And there were
Mm-hmm.
before we even got started, it was a guy that looked like he was on some pedophile shit. Like, and they sensed it. They
Right.
got his ass up out of there before any kids really got there. Like they just like you could. It was a few kids there, but like you tell the dude was looking a little weird. So they was like, "Hey man, you gotta get the fuck up out of here." And then OPD came the following year, and I remember this guy he was rolling a blunt. And then he saw the police. He looked at them. They looked back at him. He was like, "Oh shit!" And the cop was like, "Man, I already seen it. Now you might as well finish rolling it." He was like, "Man, I ain't gonna fuck with you." Like so, but even to like community,
That's some Oakland shit.
yeah. But even community police, and I remember in front of the dope era booth, some guys almost got into it, and they might have been drunk. I don't know. They was probably like 18, 19. They was really finna get into it, talk about going to get guns, all this shit. Fab just so
Right,
happened to be standing in front of the booth. And
right.
he walked up to him and said, "Hey man, we ain't doing that today. Don't give them a reason to say something negative about us. Whatever that shit y'all got arguing about, take that shit back to the hood. Right now,
Right,
this is what we
right.
doing right here." And because he had of who he is and his influence, it was like, "You
His
right."
influence.
And I had people coming up to me telling me, "Man, I ain't seen my cousins in 10 years. Our family is broken up. Today was the first day we saw each other and began a healing process." I remember somebody told me, they was like, "Man, I was funking with somebody and it was on site." And we
Right.
saw each other and we was like, "Man, we ain't even on that. Like, we just, we just chilling." Like, and so I was like, "Well, first of all, thank you for not fighting at the event." But I said, I was like, I love the fact that you guys decided that either y'all was gonna mend whatever the beef was, or just
Right.
decided to deal with it later. Like, and
So,
again,
how do you see yourself with all this going on now, bro? Like, do you see yourself as an event planner? Do you see yourself as a community activist, architect of the culture, or like
I
totally
like.
something different? Because you got a lot going on.
I mean, I see myself as an architect of the culture. I mean, I do
Mm-hmm.
events. I've done parties. We got a crew called the Hyphy Academy, which is
Yeah.
we do 25 and up events because we old as fuck. But it's for like, when you think about like we're doing a 2000s party, it's cool. But like a 21-year-old, like baby, you was a
Yeah.
baby when somebody. So it's like it's for us to be like 30, the 25 and up, the 30 and up to be like, yo, like we remember being 10 years old when this song in the
Right.
vibe. Like this kid was two. Like about. But I like to do
Yeah.
events
Yeah. You
that
don't even
just
know what the
feel
box
good. Like,
is.
I mean, of course, I want to make money doing the events because I mean, you get into it, you want to make your return. But at the end of the day, if a person be
Right.
like, "Man, I went to hometown hero party, I went to a hyphy academy party, that shit was lit." Like we, no, it's good.
So, yo, we back. We some technical difficulties, but it's all good, bro. We still doing our thing. So once again, I said Mr. Hometown Hero here. He has that name for a reason. Many, many monikers. He does a lot. And one thing I do want to get into, which he has very talented brothers, very skilled at, is his photography. So amongst all of these things that you do, man, you're a music artist, you're throwing events, you're doing all these things. You're a staple in the community. When and how did you fall in love with photography? When did this passion for photography start?
You want to know what's crazy because it connects slightly to barbecue on my black. So Kenji, God rest my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my way out to buy a cell phone I didn't need. I had money burning in my pocket. He called me before I left the house and was like, "Yo, I got a camera for sale. You want to buy it?" And I was like, "How much you want for it?" He was like, "Give me $250 for it."
We got to get this story back. We got to get you back with this story.
I don't know what's going on with this, but we're back.
Don't worry, we still running it. Okay, now we on the camera. Okay, you was supposed to buy a cell phone, but you did it, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to buy a cell phone. My boy Kenzie called me. He said, "I got this camera for sale. I want $250 for it." Now at the time, I knew nothing about cameras, so I'm just blindly going into this. Now he knew that I would take pictures on my phone, post it on Instagram, and it'd just be like pictures of like garbage cans saying the world is in the garbage can and shit like that. Like,
right.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll buy the camera from you. I don't know. To this day, I don't know where he got this damn camera from. So I bought the camera from him. And literally ever since then, I've been a photographer. Like literally. I joined Kevin Allen's class, Frame. Man, he's one of my photography heroes. DeMondre Ward as well. Britt Sitch, who's an amazing photographer. I joined their course to kind of get the basics. And I'm still learning, but I started doing, and I didn't really have a lane. I was just taking pictures of the shit. Like, and I literally came up on the self-love photography because as a product of Black women, I was raised by Black women, you know, mama, granny, sister, aunties, you know, I've only dated Black women.
Right.
And I was just like, yo, like that's the lane I want to go. And I noticed that a lot of Black women in particular, especially in the media, like all these different things, you know, they tend to like, not all Black women, let me be clear, you know, so a lot of times they deal with self-esteem issues, but I think all people deal with that. Like, you can't just put that on Black people.
Yeah.
And I just started just kind of like going that lane, and it's really been working for me. Like, people have booked me because they was just like, yo, like, I want to feel beautiful. I remember I had a client tell me that I made them feel beautiful for the first time ever in their life. And that's probably the most...
Man, that's a hell of a compliment.
That's the most amazing compliment I've ever gotten as a photographer. Probably ever in life. And that made me...
So what do you call these series that you have going?
So I'm doing a photo book called Brown Sugar Bay. And what that basically is this Black women from all walks of life, whether you got your, you know, super hood chick all the way up to your CEO. And it allows people to also escape. We actually have a shoot coming up where it's a 70s shoot. And it's one of those things where it's like it allows women to get dressed up and go to the thrift store. We got a stylist coming. My homegirl Cam, who's an amazing stylist. Just really just coming. It allows, I mean, for me, it allows me to practice, but it also allows, you know, gives women an opportunity to get free pictures. You know, who don't like free pictures? But it's just this it became Brown Sugar Bay started. I was shooting with my homegirl Ty in 9th and Broadway. And it was just kind of like on a Sunday, neither one of us had nothing to do. What you doing? She was like, nothing. I said, yo, let's go shoot. So she met me. We do this shoot. We're talking about Brown Sugar, the D'Angelo song. Right. And I was like, I'm going to do a series on Instagram called Brown Sugar Bay. Following Monday, I started this job that I no longer have. And I was half-assed listening, but they gave us, you know, the notepad. And I'm kind of like, whatever. And literally, when it was time to order the first break, I stood up. I said, I'm going to do a photo book. And then I text her. I was like, yo, what if I made it a photo book? She said, yo, that's dope. Like, and then it snowballed into a documentary, possible festival in the vein of like a barbecue while Black, but for Black women. It's a passion project of mine.
Right. I think that'd be amazing, bro.
Because I said, I was like, I've never seen a photo book like that. And it might exist. But I said, I've never seen anything like that. And I was like, I want little girls to be able to look at this book and see them, little Black girls to look at this and see themselves in it. And see that, you know, you could be beautiful, you know, that you're beautiful in all these different things. It's really like an inspirational piece. And I call it my visual love letter to Black women. And, but even with the self-love shoots, like people booking, you know, for birthday stuff and like all that stuff. But I do it in a way where, yeah, we're shooting, we celebrating your birthday, we doing that, but also we're going to do something portrait style where like you can hang this up in your house. You can feel good about yourself. And one of the amazing things that every time I hear a testimonial, the one word they always say, he made me feel comfortable. And that is a great compliment because some of these fucking photographers are creeps. And, you know,
Are creeps.
man, I remember I had a client, I'll never forget this. I asked her, what made you hire me? And she said, well, obviously I liked your work. But she said, the one main thing that made me hire you is because you didn't try to sleep with me on the intro call. She said, she said, I talked to 5 people before you. And every single one of them tried to sleep with you.
That also is a testimony to like how tainted, like unprofessional this world can be sometimes when it comes to women in in men's spaces and entertainment and
Yeah.
anything.
And
Like that's crazy.
I tell people, like, listen,
You know what I mean? That's somebody's comment. Like,
yeah, like I was like, you serious? She was like, I'm dead ass. And she was like, some of these photographers, you know them. And I was like, oh shit. But I remember, like, I tell people all the time, like, it's one thing if I'm a photographer, right? And I have a client, this client walks in, she's beautiful. And as 2 adults, you start to connect and you might meet and you might want to take the girl on a date or whatever. There's ways that you could navigate that. But don't be a fucking, especially before you get the money. Because now all it takes is a click of a button. All it takes is a
people
click
forget too that word spreads. Like you are
yeah, literally. A girl can go on her phone, go, this guy
and
is a
that shit,
creep.
that word was spread like wildfire.
This guy said this to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in your
You gonna
whole
be on that.
career.
What's it called? What's that new app? Yo, you gonna be on the T app.
Yeah, you know, or you gonna be on the exposed page, or you go and it's like, yo, this dude, when I called him to book for a shoot,
Exposed.
he told me he wanted to see my titties or whatever. I remember I wasn't shooting this girl, but we were having a photography conversation at the photo studio, and the girl was like, I remember shooting with a guy. It was a free shoot, and she was shooting lingerie, which I shoot lingerie too, but the dude told her that in order to get some shot he was trying to get, he had to play with her pussy. And I was like, what?
That like, what type of what Pornhub shot was you trying to get?
Yeah, like, and I said, I hope you got up and left. And she said, I absolutely got up and left. I said, I ain't gonna lie, even as a man, I would expose dudes because that's crazy.
Yeah, because that's just wild, bro.
And you know, and like I said, every testimony I get, he made me feel comfortable. He made me feel comfortable. He made me feel comfortable. So I take pride in that. Like I take pride in people. Yeah, some people say I'm expensive, and I just might not be in their price range. But it's like, but would you rather spend?
And that's okay.
And that's okay. You might not be my ideal client. But also on the flip side too, would you rather spend this money and not be harassed, or spend $100 and get harassed? But also too, I keep women on set on purpose.
You know what I think is amazing right now, bro? I think that hearing you and listening to your stories, it's like how you have a natural knack to like pick things up. Great ideas tend to gravitate you, and you run with them, and you have these so many lanes that you're doing that you're successful in. Because you even like, I didn't even know until I was really researching you. Then I seen that you had a book. This is what I be telling people. Like you got a lot of layers to you, bro.
Yeah,
like,
and it's so crazy.
I don't even, what is that about? Can you give us? Can you give us? We come to the end, but I had to get that in
for sure. So the book is a poetry book, and it's a book of short stories. Now I always say things in my life happen on accident, but I think they come from God, right? I remember before I wrote this book, I had never written a poem in my fucking life.
Yeah,
I was a rapper.
Oh, man, we gonna stitch these. So where we left off at is you never wrote a poem in your life.
No,
this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like I previously said, you have a lot of stories where shit just like connect, and it's wild.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So basically, I had moved to Sacramento. I had moved to Georgia, and then I moved back because I hated living in the country. So I moved to Sacramento because Oakland was high as fuck by then. And I had an office in my apartment. And I used to not be able to sleep until like I would have to like really make myself like really get tired to go to bed. And I was walking to my bedroom. It was like 12:30 at night. And this poem called Beautiful Black Woman just popped into my head. It was just beautiful black woman, raised by the sun, blah, blah, blah. Like just, and I was like, I ran into the office and just started writing down. I thought it was a rap song. And I was like, yo, this is some poetry.
Right.
And I was like, okay, like, whatever. Like, But then I just kept writing different things, and I was like, yo, I could turn this into a book. I'm a hustler. Like I'm gonna make something shake.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I've printed like different versions of this book, but just as I
Mm-hmm.
navigated through life, like just different experiences. And I was like, yo, like, rap is poetry, so like, it's just, poetry without music. So did that, put it out. It did pretty okay. A couple years go by. Then I added some short stories to kind of fatten the book up because by this time my father had
Mm-hmm.
passed away. Like my godson, who unfortunately passed from sickle cell. So I was dealing with then I lost like 10 friends, 10 or 11 people in like 4 years. So I was dealing with a lot of grief and a lot of like, honestly, like two of my childhood friends like died within a month of each other. Like it was serious. And I had to write it
Right.
to like really like get it out. And it felt better and it felt good. And of course I updated some of the poems and stuff like that. But it was just really an outlet for me to like, because I wanted them people like, I've had, us as black men, we often told to shut our feelings down, especially if we got like dads and
Yeah.
granddads that, we wasn't taught that you can say, yo, you hurt my feelings, or I feel hurt by this. So that became an outlet for me to just be like,
Right. Right. Right.
say how I feel. And it's like I said, especially after like losing my godson, who's also my nephew as well. The sickle cell, he was 4 years old. Like I had never experienced anything like that. Like literally being in his life from the
Yeah.
time his mother found out she was pregnant to the day we put him in the ground. I carried him to his grave. Like, and so I don't know if anybody else has ever, whether
That's
their own
crazy.
child or somebody they're close to, like for all intents, he wasn't my child, but for all intents and purposes, we had that kind of relationship. So for me, I didn't know any. I
Right.
tried, like I did write some music, but like my homie, I let him hear. He said, "Yeah, we got to shoot this video," and I was just like, "Bro, I ain't ready yet." Like I said, I got to really go to a deeper place. It's different than writing a rap, like a hyphy song. Not a hyphy song, like a turn up song. Like you can do that with your eyes closed, but when it's something serious and personal like this, like I got to really get into that space. And then again, like I said, other friends just kept passing away, and then my friend Charmaine was basically like my big sister. She passed from congestive heart failure in March, and that
Mm-hmm.
tore me up because she was the first. Yeah, I knew
Ooh.
people that got killed in Oakland, where we really had the high homicide rate, but she was the
Yeah.
first friend I grew up with that passed away. Like we known each other over 20 years. So that
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
like another thing too, where I was like, then another friend of ours who used to record with us at the Cub, like he passed away literally like a month and some change later. They both had some medical issues, and it was just like, yo, like why does this keep happening? Like just people keep dying and dying and dying and dying. And I just, like I said, use the book as an outlet. I didn't even really necessarily write it because I was trying to make $1 million off of it. It was just an
Right.
outlet for me, Since then, I started therapy as well. I started doing meditation,
Right.
just other ways to like, as a black man, understand that like, yo, my feelings matter, and expressing yourself don't make your punk. That's the short version
So,
of it.
what is the name of the book for the people? So, and where can we get the book at?
So the book is called Words in the Key of Life. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, pretty much where all books are sold. I think I'm gonna do
Right.
an audiobook version. I think I'm gonna hire somebody to read it
Mm-hmm.
because I hate my voice. I know that sounds crazy, but
So,
yeah, man, like I was like, yeah, I like to use my voice, but like when I hear it back,
right.
I was like, okay. But yeah, you can, like I said, you can get it on, where all books are sold. You can get it online right now. It's an ebook, and I believe you can still order they do the made to order physical
Right.
book
Right.
as well on Amazon, and it's like 90, no, it's like 100 or some pages of just raw
Right.
truth. Uh, you
I'm gonna
know,
have to when I edit this, I'm gonna have to hold up the copy, like put myself in the corner right
yeah,
here, like for
like
sure.
it's of raw truth, and it talks about
So
like
I want to end it
life.
out on I want to leave us on a good note, right? With the
Yes,
with
sir.
the fun question for you. I leave everybody with one. The turf dancers usually I be doing to me, and I give them like, man, who you think is weak or something like that. 'Cause I be messy. but I ain't gonna be messy, right? So,
But
because you're the hometown hero, we can't do that here. So, I'm
yeah.
gonna give you a fun
I
question,
want
all right?
for me, like you
Leave
said,
us
I
out
suck.
off. So, no, this one's cool. So, no, bro, okay. So, if Oakland itself, right, the city of Oakland itself, if Oakland was a party, right, Oakland, the city of Oakland itself is a party. Okay, what would be on the playlist? Like, what type of food would be served, and who would be the host?
Whew. Okay. Shayla from South Oakland will be the host, and
Mm-hmm.
probably me because I turn it up. Also, I'm gonna add Mr. Fab too
Yeah,
as a host.
Fabby Davis.
Playlist gotta be all the town shit, classic shit, hyphy shit, the new shit. Gotta
Mm-hmm.
have the old school slaps, and depending on who's there, like you gotta do something for the young kids, for what they listen to. Not too much of it because some of it I'll be looking like I remember my niece played a song and I looked at her like, "What the hell did he
Not too
just
much.
say?" Like, and she was like, "Sorry." I'm like, "No," I said, "I was once your age, but I'm just because I'm older." I'm like, "What the hell is these kids saying?" But it's really just a gumbo pot. And as far as the food, you gotta have some soul food. And now everybody vegan now. I'm trying to get there, but
Right.
you gotta have a little vegan mob there as well. Some vegan soul
I
food.
respect it.
You
Vegan
know,
vibe.
yeah, they got some really good.
Would you have hyphy burger there?
Gotta have hyphy burger. Yo, hyphy burger is probably the best burger I've had in the town in a long time. Like dead ass. Like
Bro,
it's a
I
really
still ain't ate a hyphy burger, bro. I gotta get a hyphy burger. Darian, shout out Darian. I gotta get one.
I would like a hyphy burger to a black version of In-N-Out. The fries are much better and seasoned. But the burger itself, and one thing about hyphy burger too, I want to say,
Okay.
if they fuck your shit up, they don't argue with you. They just remake it and they're like, yeah, you can keep the other one.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's the customer service of that is so dope. And I know that shit costs money, so they try not to mess up. You might sell 200 burgers a day, you might mess up 10, but like, but at the same time, I
Yeah, it's
love
all
the
good
fact
though,
that,
right?
but just also being from Oakland, that spot was closed for a long time, and so the fact that it's black owned, the
It
fact
used
that
to be hella shit. I remember when it was a Chinese food place at one point, bro.
donut spot, and so it was closed for 20 years, and I remember it's so crazy that they opened that spot because I remember driving past one day,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
closed. And I was like, yo, that'd be a good burger spot. I said, man, a hyphy burger spot. And I was like, man, I'm going to call Fab and tell him he should get some of his investment homies together. And literally a week later, and I never got a chance to call Fab. A week later, I drove past and said, hyphy burger coming soon. I said, what the hell?
And
And
boom.
then I found out they had been working on it for about 3 years. And then one night I actually went in there and I ran into Bay Area Foods. I met him and I was like, man, I told him that story. He was like, man, that's crazy. Just how God worked. And I said, man, I love that this spot is black owned. Ain't nobody coming here on no bullshit. This is a space where people, it's kind of like where the kids can kind of hang out on a Friday, Saturday night a little bit, have a burger with their friends, listen to
Right.
the music. It's a
Yeah.
community space, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
definitely get your hyphy burger. This is not a paid sponsorship.
So,
So
bro,
yeah,
hey, we coming up on a time, bro. But before we get out of here, bro, I appreciate you so much for jumping on, bro. Because hey, I
man.
knew this was gonna be a great one. You can't leave without telling everybody all your social media handles and anything that you got coming up that we need to be looking out for. Like the platforms, all the platforms, any events, tell us everything that we need to know right here.
Yep. So all my handles is Hometown Hero, HMTWNHERO. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I hate Twitter, but I'm on there. But yeah. But as far as what's coming up, Brown Sugar Bay is the priority. You can also book a photo shoot with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you can find me on Instagram, hometownhero.jpg, so HMTWNHERO.jpg. When you talk to me, I talk back. Right now, I don't have the AI thing going on the thing, so I actually talk to people.
He said right now.
Yeah, right now, I'm gonna get it going, but I'm gonna still talk to people
Yeah,
because I'm just a people
yeah.
person. And yeah, like I said, Brown Sugar Bay is really just the priority. We're working on getting grants as well and I've been learning
Mm-hmm.
how to get grant. Shout out to my coach Kevin. And then also too, we're in the we have a content community called CCU, Content Creation University. Shout out to Terry Griffin. And we just learn, man. I'm really just in a space of learning, in a space of like
Right,
really like trying to like stop running from certain things in terms of like AI and and really
right,
embracing it and learning it. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. You could just look for a new and improved hometown hero. You know, if you
right.
see me on the street, you can come up to me. Hey, how you doing? Just tell me you saw me on the podcast. Because some people will
Right.
walk up to me and be like, "You don't remember me?" And I'll be like, "No." Like, and it charged to my head, not my heart, because I see a lot of people all the time, but it's always love. Like I come in peace. So
Right,
yeah,
right. Hey, I once again, bro, I appreciate you for coming. Everybody that's watching this, I have a lot of people. Hey, thank y'all for always viewing and keeping my energy, spirits, my viewing and tuning in to the Instagram, to the YouTube. Once again, TURFN. It's not an underscore here, but it's an underscore 101.
and shout out to you
Mm-hmm.
also. I want to give you your flowers for being one, and I know this to be a fact, being
Mm-hmm.
one of the architects of turf dancing.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate
Um,
it, bro.
seeing people like you, Zeus, some of the other brothers that I can't name right off the top of my head, but just seeing y'all really out there doing it and teaching people, and like, I think it's very important that we
Yeah.
give people their flowers while they can still smell them or inhale them, whatever
Well,
you
I can
prefer.
still smell them.
you
Yeah, man,
know,
I really appreciate that. It's just
yeah,
turning. The dance has been going on for years, like damn near 30 years now. But on
yeah.
top of that, it's like we're turning it into like teaching everybody how to
We need
take the
we need a
skills that we learn from it,
yeah
and apply
we
them to
need
other aspects, other things.
we need as the Bay. We need a real turf dance documentary. Like I'm talking like Netflix level, Hulu level. I know
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did the hyphy documentary, which I really want to see it. And I know I'm
yeah,
sure it touched on turf dancing, but I
yeah.
didn't
But
know
it
turf
was,
dancing been around for 30 years.
yeah,
Like you just
yeah,
told me something new. So
yeah.
like to have because it's important for us to tell our own stories. Uh,
Exactly. Or somebody else gonna tell
or
them
they gonna
for
tell
us,
it not tell it right.
and they
Uh,
not gonna tell it right.
And also, too, I want to tell people the Bay Area is very diverse. If someone who
Mhm.
is not black is trying to tell a story, but they from here, likely they know what they're talking about.
Yes,
Because
yes. Let me
you
hold this up. Yes.
yeah, like just because they're not black don't mean it. Because I got homies that who grew up Middle East Oakland, and they went to school with black people, and they ain't trying to be black, but they just grew up in that hyphy area. Shout out to my boy Luke. He's one of Cool Hand Luke. He's one of those guys that like he was like went to tech, hang out with all the black people, and he knows just as much about East Oakland as the next guy. Like so, man. Cause and then also too, we got Asians, Samoans, and Palestinians, and like all that, man. So just because they may not be black, don't mean that they don't know the story. If they from here, 98% of the time they know what they're doing. I can't hear you. The audio went out. I can't hear you. The audio.